Hey guys, what's up? It's John and Mitch with CGCB Podcast, and featuring today, Baby John. Um, this week, me and Baby John gets to spend the whole week just us, because Mom is out of town for work. So he's going to be featured on today's podcast. Maybe he'll contribute a little bit to the podcast. But me and Mitchell have come up with two topics today for the podcast, and we would like to talk a bit about cigar etiquette and drinking responsibly. Um, these are two things that everyone should know, especially drinking responsibly. Uh, you see that I'm playing not exactly single dad, but I'm playing single dad, so I'm not getting shit faced. And in all reality, I only got a beer just for the podcast. So there's that. That's part of drinking responsibly. So and I apologize in advance if I seem like I am concentrated elsewhere because I gotta make sure my son doesn't kill himself while he's in the office. Because there is, you see, I had the firearms put away and they're not loaded; they're cleared. Um, but yeah, there's that. So Mitchell, let's start off with some cigar etiquette. What's a few things that you like to hit on for that?
First thing, since I already got it prepared, this is probably about as much ash as you want on the end of the cigar. Like this is even a little long. Because on a good one, you should be able to actually, I don't know how well you can see, but should be able to go all the way, smoke it all the way back to the ring, and the ash shouldn't fall off. But it's kind of tacky and not good if you let your ash go out and you're just moving around and it falls off. It looks bad. It's not really kosher, let's say. So, and believe it or not, there is a proper way to knock your ash off a cigar. So I'm going to try to demo it. I'm kind of recording on the phone because I'm out in the backyard today. But I've just got my solo cup because I don't have an ashtray. But you don't take it, put it in. You're not going to be able to see this all, but you just put it in and you roll it. As you heard it, knock the ash right off. You got a nice clean break and you're ready to start smoking it again. So that's one of the big things I like to hit on.
Another one I would like to hit on is a lot of us love cigars, and a lot of people love the smell of a cigar and smoking a cigar. But one thing is, there are people out there that don't. And
My old lady being one of them.
yes, and my old lady as well. So when you're out smoking your cigar or what have you, be a bit mindful of them. Don't be blowing it in their face and be like, oh man, it's a great cigar and whatnot. First of all, that's rude and tacky. Okay, just don't do that. Whenever you're in a group and you know there's certain people in the group that don't like the smoke or the cigar or whatnot, when you take your drag, when you go to blow your smoke, try to point it away from the crowd or kind of know where the wind's blowing and blow it away from the crowd with the wind so it'll push it away. That's one big thing. I know we talk about all the time being in downtown Savannah and we go get cigars. A lot of people don't do that walking down the street. They just be walking down the street, taking big puffs and blowing smoke at everybody. I tend to try to blow it away from the crowd. And if I'm in a situation,
Especially around children.
yeah, especially around children, I don't care. Blow it away from them. Especially if there's a fucking baby, that makes me very agitated. If you're cheaping on a cigar and you're making all the smoke be near the baby, baby can't help it. He can't turn his head around too much. So be mindful of that and respectful of others as well. Uh, what's another one? Mitchell hit right on the head with the on getting rid of the ash. It never fails. If you're in a group setting and 9 times out of 10, if you're smoking a cigar, more than likely you've got an open glass with you. And what happens is if you got that long ass ash, You may accidentally drop your ash, and it will probably fall in somebody's drink. You don't think that'll happen that much, but it happens a lot, and it sucks, and you'll be looked at like an asshole.
Yeah.
So keep that ash knocked down. Like, I get it, cool. You got a really nice cigar, and you can drag the ash out as long as possible. Whatever. Don't do that.
Yeah. I'm not going to call out anybody, but down who they are, like that one guy at your wedding when the wedding photographer was actually taking pictures of it because it was so long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. But, yeah. Can't hear, buddy.
Yep. So, like Baby John said, Mama don't like cigar smoke. Keep it away from her.
Mm-hmm. Now, funny enough, my dog actually likes it.
Really?
Yeah. Don't knock the damn table over. Here. This happened. Oh, hey, this one right here. Whenever I come outside to smoke, she always got to come out here and lay with me.
Really?
Mom should be up here on the patio set with me, but there ain't enough room for her right now. She don't get to her spot because I'm sitting.
Taking her spot.
Yeah. I keep rubbing her ears long enough, she'll moan. But nice.
But yeah. For drinking responsibly,
don't drink and drive first and foremost.
yes, please do not drink and drive. That's super irresponsible, and you're automatically a fucking douchebag if you do that. I mean, I've got family members that drink and drive and think it's fine, and I call them a fucking asshole every time.
If you get pulled over, their insurance rates are going to fucking skyrocket. Like my roommate, when I was living in Florida, her son got pulled over for DUI. He was paying like almost $2,000 a month in insurance afterwards.
Jeez.
I mean, he didn't even get in a wreck. He was just driving drunk.
Yeah, no, DUIs are super expensive and super easy to not do. If you're going to go somewhere and you know you're drinking, go ahead and have a DD.
Or sleep in the car, damn.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or just crash where you're at. If you're at a homie's house, I'm sure they won't mind you cracking on their couch. So, do that.
You can go out and you can open the door.
Another thing is, like I said earlier, if you have kids and you don't have another person to help you with kids, and you're basically by yourself taking care of kids, don't get fucking drunk, dude. Like, you can have maybe one drink or two tops, but I would really cap it at that because of, of course, you need to take priority of watching your child. Yeah, so.
And please don't mind the dog. She's hearing John talk and is wondering where he's at.
She loves Baby John. Here you go, buddy. And my child, he loves drinking straight from a bottle of water and sticking his finger in. But yeah, be mindful of your surroundings when you're drinking and in your situation.
Also, make sure you have another thing. I just kind of thought about this. Make sure, like, if you're in a group setting or something, like this one I'm smoking right here. This is what's called a Churchill. They got a large ring size and they're pretty long. This one I think started out at 7 inches. Pick a cigar that has an appropriate smoke time for whatever you're doing.
Yes.
So, like, because I know we're going to be out here for maybe about an hour or so. This is a good size to be able to smoke it through the whole hour. Now, the Cohibas that I smoke, those are good for maybe 30 minutes if I'm taking my time with them. So, and be mindful also of like how heavy a cigar is, because especially if you don't smoke them a lot, and then someone offers you like this Perdomo here, which is it's a real heavy, full-bodied cigar, and you take a puff of that, you're gonna be 3 puffs in, about to throw up. Especially if you don't smoke a lot. So don't avoid getting cigar drunk. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Because it's not fun. But if you do, get a big glass of the sweetest thing you can find and drink it. The sugar helps. I've done that, and no, it's not fun.
Yeah. With the cigar, when you're with the group, if you know you're going to be like in an enclosed area later on after smoking, maybe think of having some mints and possibly a different shirt to change into, because sometimes the smoke may irritate certain people.
And I mean, that's why they created smoking jackets.
Yes.
You don't have to have them. In fact, nowadays they start actually looking kind of tacky. But the winter's actually a really good time because you're always going to be a jacket. So when you're outside, you got your jacket on. You go inside, you take it off. It stays with the jacket, so you ain't got to carry it around with you as long as you're not carrying around your jacket.
Yep.
Because I know after I smoke, I got to go take a shower before I'm even allowed in bed.
Oh man, yeah. Like I have to brush my teeth, wash my beard in the least, and then at best get a shower. Cause if not, no go. Can't go anywhere near my wife. Won't get a kiss. Nothing. Yeah. So. Definitely be mindful of that if your significant other doesn't like smoke. Oh goodness. And I apologize again, guys, for baby John being a handful. Guys, he absolutely loves drinking out of this bottle for some reason. And it's just a normal water bottle. You can see. Oh man, this boy's something else. But yeah, don't drink and drive, guys. Smoke responsibly, drink responsibly. Oh goodness, somebody's getting restless and looks like it's about bedtime. But yeah, I mean, I think we've talked on most topics, that we wanted to.
Chief. Here's some. Know your limit when you drink.
Yes.
Nobody likes falling down drunk.
Oh my God. No.
Every once in a while. Don't do it all the time. Nobody likes an alcoholic.
And especially know the setting. If you're in a setting where you know it'll be okay to get sloppy drunk, and that's your intention is to get sloppy drunk, well then do it, but make it be known and tell your friends so they're prepared and they don't have to, deal with your sloppy drunk ass.
Yeah, it's like the other weekend when we had everybody over at your house. I mean, I say everybody. It was only like 6 of us at most. Well, 7 with your brother, and we knew us guys, we weren't going to get all that drunk. We were just going to hang out, and then, we let the ladies get drunk.
Yep.
Get loose for a little while.
The ladies deserve it.
Yeah, they don't get together and actually drink that often. So
yeah.
Sorry you got to deal with a neighbor dog. He's out there, little Hefe. He's just a little chihuahua. It's about this big and thinks he's tough as nails. Every once in a while, they'll have him out in the front yard. And I'll come home from work, get out the truck, walk into the front door. And he'll try to chase me up the yard to the door, and I'll turn around and he'll run off. I'll turn back around, he'll run back over. Cutest little thing, but he thinks he's the toughest thing around.
And I'll give a quick tip for all my parents out there. If you're going to let your child drink out of a bottle, like an adult bottle, make sure it's water, because if not, they're going to power grip it and it's going to squirt everywhere like it just did. I got water all over my carpet now. So
better the carpet than the keyboard.
That's true. He really wanted to pour it on the keyboard. He was actively trying.
Dude, I spilled Coke on my keyboard the other day. Not Not a lot, just a little bit.
Oh man.
Yeah, luckily I was able to clean up. I still got to pull the keys and actually clean underneath it, but I don't have any isopropyl alcohol to be able to do that.
Mm.
And by the way, when you clean a keyboard like that, when you're pulling the keys and everything, Q-tips, and make sure the power is off and it's unplugged, and then let it dry completely before you put it back together and hook it back up. The last thing you want to do, especially with the keyboard I got a, I think it's a Razer keyboard. It's mechanical keys and all that, and them things are expensive. That was $100 keyboard.
Yeah, I got a Razer keyboard as well, and
Yeah, you do, because you got the same one I do, except yours has the numpad. Mine doesn't.
yeah.
So, but yeah. Oh, and if y'all have seen the Facebook page, I finally got my Raptor in.
Yes, he did. I know one of my buddies was asking about it. It does come in an AR-10 variant or SR-25, what have you. So yeah, if you need a Radian, go grab you one. They're good. They're good charging handles.
Pick this one up. The shop had it for I want to say it was like $81. It may seem like a lot for charging handle, but what you get with it is it's pretty well worth the money, because I was torn between that and a Geisley Ambi. But the problem with the Geisley, and the reason I didn't go with that one, was because the latches were too small. The Raptor's a little bit larger, and when you're running a big old optic like what I got on my rifle, that bigger latch helps you and keeps you from busting your knuckles on your scope when you're trying to charge it. Yeah, so now that gun's finally fully ambi minus the bolt catch, but in order to make that one ambi, I got to make some modifications to the receiver, which I'm not quite ready to do yet. So it's just about done. All I got to do now is add the bipod, and that build's done, which I'm gonna try and pick one up Black Friday.
Oh yeah. Well, I run the Arrow ambi on both of those rifles. It just.
I'm gonna let you try it. Have you tried a rifle before?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm about to say, like, this will change your world. You'll want to throw them arrows away.
Yeah, I've used Radians before. They're pretty nice. I only went with Arrow because I'm an Arrow dealer and I got a really good deal on them. So I mean, I couldn't pass it up.
By the way, I found something out today. So he's got an X5 Legion P320 up there.
Yeah.
And it's got the tungsten frame on it.
Nice.
And dude, that thing is so nice. Like, it's nice. There was one of the Effingham sheriff's guys there.
Mm-hmm.
He pops in every once in a while, and he's a canine handler. And his dog's funny as can be. But anyways, he was looking at. He goes, "Man, I think I might get my guys. Okay, see if I go okay with the sheriff. Switch to these, because right now they're him and a couple of the guys. The department got them SIG 1911s.
Mm-hmm.
But he's wanting to move them back from a 45 down to a 9. And go with something a little more modern. And he's a real big fan of the 320s, and he saw that and they're like, damn, I gotta get the department to get us some of these. Because number one, the sheriff, he don't want any plastic fantastic guns, as he puts it. No Glocks, no polymer frame guns. He wants all metal, so this will fit the bill. I mean, it's gonna be probably about on par with the price of the SIGs, because I think MSRP on the SIG Legion is like $989.
Yeah.
So it's not a cheap gun, but I'm sure for Leo, they can get it for, I'm imagining, probably between $650 and $750.
Well, I mean, if he's really interested, I can hook him up. I mean, I'll hit him up with a good deal. I've been working deals all day, and matter of fact, I just got done building a customer's AR. It was very budget friendly, I should say.
Hey, John, I think one of your guns shifted behind you.
Be good.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't want one to fall down.
Yeah, that would suck, because half of that one is not mine.
Yeah, I know. But don't go out there and bother the neighbors. You're fine.
No, poor pup.
Yeah. But, What else?
Um, I know I haven't been keeping update with the Toyota, only because I haven't been doing anything with it. All the parts come in. The only real thing is now it's just working on it. And being that I'm single dad this week, it's hard to get anything done. As you can tell, I'm struggling to do a podcast right now.
Yeah.
And even that's simple and shouldn't be hard to do. But yeah, and I'm surprised I even had the 5 minutes to build an AR today.
No. To be fair, I know a lot of you guys hadn't been seeing a lot of content being posted to the page. We've both been super busy.
Yes.
But we're gonna make it up to you. Saturday we're gonna be recording we'll call it a little bit of a special. We're gonna knock out a few birds one stone, so we should have several videos coming from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be it'll be some stuff that we're not normally doing, because normally we're doing our separate stuff and posting from home, but we're gonna do something a little bit different for y'all. Get some out in the field video footage for you guys. So it'll be good stuff coming. Yeah, something to distract from what we're not going to mention on the podcast.
Yeah, and guys, we refuse to talk about that stuff, just because you see it enough already. We're not going to bring it up on here. We're trying to have a good time here.
Now, if John's okay with it, I do want to plug something real quick.
Okay, go ahead and plug.
If you do want to talk about current events, I've got a page on Facebook, Mitch Bland Commentary. Look it up. I just go over basically news and my commentary on it. And I try to report things as I see it and how as accurately as possible without delving too much into bias. I try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to differentiate between reporting and opinion. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go give it the page a view and kind of look at it. Give it a like if you want. But that's enough of that. So, but it does bring me into another topic. So we're coming out of I believe we should be on the tail end of hurricane season right now. And so one thing I kind of want to touch on a little bit is preparedness for such things.
Yes.
So in the event of a natural disaster or things like we've been seeing with COVID and everything, where things got shut down for a little bit, it's never a bad idea to keep like there's companies that sell these little totes, the like 5-gallon totes of like MREs essentially, or was it freeze dried or whatever food, and keep getting something like that and you just throw it on the shelf in the garage or in a spare room and leave it. They've got a shelf life of like 5 years, but if you need it, they're there. Because as we saw when COVID first hit, store shelves were barren.
Yeah.
Now, granted, here in Georgia, it didn't get too bad. But in other places like big cities, they were slammed. They were out of everything. Toilet paper being the big one this year for whatever reason. But like keeping that, like a case of bottled water, like in a spare room, just kind of sitting for if you need it, is always a good idea. And it's never a bad idea, especially if you take any type of prescribed medications, to have like an extra month supply of it at least. That way, if the pharmacy's shut down and you can't go get your meds, you've got some spares that you can lean on to use until a pharmacy opens back up. So rule of thumb that I try to keep, and I haven't been good at it lately, but I try to keep at least 3 months just in case. Because 3 months is enough to where, like, I remember a few years ago, I forget which hurricane came. It was Irma, now that I think about it. We were out of power for well over a week.
Oh, yeah. No.
So we couldn't, like, all of our frozen foods and refrigerated stuff got spoiled. So having 3 months supply, like, I can eat that or use it throughout the 3 weeks, or the however long it was that we were out without power. And then I'm not gonna like put a dent in the supplies. That way I don't have to restock it right away. I've got other times, so something else could come through and be out of power or have to relocate, and I still got food, So that's something to keep in mind, and especially make sure you've got at least an extra month's worth of dog food too, if you have pets. So whether it be dogs, cats, if you're into those little mini pigs or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, and I'll caveat on the whole hurricane and disaster preparedness. Well, I'm about to have another person here. Thanks, Matt, for Uncle Matt's been here to help with Baby John. So yeah, you can take that ball of words. He can play with that. He's not going to hurt that. Here, bud. Yeah. All right. So yeah, with the hurricane preparedness, Irma hit us pretty hard. I know Mitchell lives in an area where they were able to get power to within a week. For people like me that are more in the outer, out in the sticks, some people would say, we didn't have power for like 3 weeks. And granted, I'm fine with that. I can live without power if need be. But on the other hand, my wife has to take certain medicines, and these medicines give her a sensitivity to heat. And being that we live in Georgia, it gets very fucking hot here. And living in a single wide trailer in the middle of a field with no shelter or trees, it gets fucking hot here. So that was definitely a thing that we had to worry with. And at the time, we didn't actually have a generator neither. So it was rough. I did manage to make ways to keep our food good. I jury rigged a an adapter, and I had it hooked up, matter of fact, to the Toyota, and I was running it off of the alternator off of the Toyota to keep some of my electrics in the house running. So I literally had my truck running outside, just idling, to keep my inside stuff working. So it worked. It was a fan when we needed a fan, and it kept the deep freezer working when we needed it. And but thankfully, right at about week 2 of no power, we finally come across a generator and got it. And then we were able to use it to handle the rest of the supplies. And then after that, we got a bit more serious about hurricane prep, and then now we had the house wired to where I can hook the generator to the house, and then it'll power. Matter of fact, it'll power my entire house, which is very, very convenient. I think here recently in the past few months, we had an issue to where power went out for about a day, and I was like, you know what? I'm not playing with this no more. So I hooked my house up to my generator, and I was the only house on the block with lights on.
Now, are you using a gas or a diesel generator?
Gas generator. So that's another thing. If you got a gas generator, make sure you got gas to put back in it. They're usually really fuel efficient, but you need to have spare gas, because if not, you're screwed.
No, you can get some that are dual fuel, so they'll run on either gas or propane. So that means if you've got a propane grill and you run out of gasoline, you just unplug your grill, pull your propane tank up to your generator, and it'll run off of that. Those aren't bad to have. Now, most people are not going to have a use for a diesel generator because usually those things are fucking massive.
Yes.
They will run forever, though, and put out a lot of power. But those also cost lots of money.
And another thing, make sure you get the gas that you're storing ahead of time. Don't wait till the hurricane gets there and then think, oh, well, I'll just wait till the hurricane's gone. I'll just go get some gas. Because your gas station down the store is probably not going to be open. So,
and if the power goes out at the gas station, their pumps ain't going to work.
Yep.
So, but if you're going to get gas and keep it for any extended period of time, make sure you got some fuel stabilizer to add to it so it doesn't degrade over time. And then doesn't work when you actually go to pour it in.
Yeah. And then another thing we do is we take all of our vehicles. Granted, for me, my wife, and my father-in-law that lives next door, between us, we have 6, 7 vehicles that actively run. So we go and we take every vehicle to the gas station, top them all off, and park them and get ready. So just in case if we need them, they're there, and they also double as fuel storage as well. So in the off chance you can just drain the fuel from one vehicle that you're not using and use it.
Yep. Yep. Because remember, if anything were to happen and catch you off guard, you only got what you got in your gas tank.
And
there was a time, and I was at work when this happened. My service van had to have some work done to it after collision, and we had to take it down to a place about an hour south of where we are. And we were there, and all of a sudden the storm blowed in, so we were kind of sitting down because it was looking really bad. And sure enough, we had a tornado come straight down the road. So something like that can happen, and if you got to get out of the way, which well, there are plenty of information you can find about what to do in the event of a tornado and you're in a vehicle. But if you have enough time to see it and get out, you've only got the gas you got. So if you're getting to the point where, oh, maybe I should stop and get gas, and you're running on E, and then a tornado pops up, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's one thing that you need to greatly consider is if in the event, make sure that you're topped off, but you don't want to be stranded. That's a terrible feeling to have. It really sucks. And like Mitchell was talking about earlier, storing food. If you can get you some MREs or the civilian version of that come in tote, those are perfect. I luckily had a bunch of MREs left over from when I was in the Army. So granted, those are bad now, but we ate all of those during the last hurricane, or at least I ate them because my wife's bougie and won't eat that. So she wants to eat the good food.
Now, I will say the civilian ones that they're making now actually taste a lot better than the military ones.
Well, that's good to know.
And like for example, those 5-gallon totes I was talking about, they have enough in there. I think you can get enough to feed a family of 4 for a month.
Oh,
and they're like $200.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh wow, yeah, I need to look into one of those things because I still got a handful of boxes of MREs that I'm just saving for whenever. I essentially save them for hurricane season is what it really boils down to.
Yep, and if you're going to keep them, bottled water is going to help to I don't want to say hydratize, but you know what I mean, like put water in, because some of it's got to have water to mix to actually make the food. And then having like those little camping stoves around if you ain't got a grill or something, or some like MRE heaters or something are good to keep too, so you can warm it up.
Yeah, those MRE pouch heaters, they work. I mean, they get hot and they will warm your food up. So those are good to use. So if you get an MRE that don't necessarily need your heater, save that heater for your next one. You might want to heat up some other stuff with it. And the instructions on it are very simple. Even a private can understand how to use it. Because it literally says,
I was going to say, you don't even need to get like waterproof stuff, because 9 times out of 10, it really won't matter unless, of course, you're in a flood zone where you could get flooded out by a hurricane or something, or is just prone to seasonal flooding. Mm-hmm. Then it would be a good idea to invest in that. But most of the time, you're going to stay dry. It's going to be dry enough you can use it whenever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the MRE heater because it literally says on the packet, fill water this line, lean against rock or something, verbatim rock or something. It's hilarious. They make it dummy proof.
As a good friend of mine puts it, it's in Barney talk.
It is. They break it down Barney style. Because some people need that. Another thing is you already hit on medicine. It's good to have first aid of some sort.
Yes, and be sure, if you carry more than like your basic first aid kit, get some medical training on how to use it. Like if you're walking around with like a full medic pack with like sutures and tourniquets stuff, learn how to use them, because nothing is worse than something happening. Like somebody gets hurt doing something, and then they have like an arterial bleed or something, and you go to apply a tourniquet and you don't know how to properly apply it, and they end up bleeding out. Just trust me, like in our line of work, like something like that has a high potential of happening, especially around heavy equipment. So if something like that were to happen, being able to stop the bleed is a very good thing to be able to know how to do. In fact, most counties, if not all of them, I think all of them should now, actually have, I don't know if they're free, but they usually host a Stop the Bleed course at least once a quarter that anybody can sign up to and go, and they'll teach you how to stop any sort of bleeding or something like that. And those actually came around after, I want to say about early to mid 2010s, after all those mass shootings that happened, because a lot of the people that died could have been saved if people actually knew how to stop the bleeding. So always a good skill to have.
Yeah, it's very enlightening to learn how to do that, and it could save a person's life. Locally, when you're in the Army and you're in infantry, you go through a lot of first aid classes, because you might have a medic attached to your squad or team, but the guy right next to him might not be the medic, so he's going to have to know how to take care of them. If not, you take care of yourself. That's one big thing, is if you get hurt, know how to help yourself if you can. If you can provide self-aid, do it. And then, seek help if you can. Because
there's a really good saying to tie into that real quick. That like when you're on an airline and they tell you, and they're going over the safety things in the event of emergency, you always want to secure your own mask first before you help someone else. Because if you're not squared away, how are you going to help someone else get squared away?
Yep. Like I get, being a family man, you want to take care of your people, but you can't help them if you're not alive or taken care of. So,
and that also applies emotionally too. You want to have your emotional fitness good.
yes.
So if something were to happen, you can still get to it, and you're on the ball, and you're taken care of and squared away to help the others, and then you can deal with it after the fact.
Yeah, no, you don't need to be out there breaking down. You need to keep your shit squared away, stay focused, and then when everything's done, then you can take some time for yourself. And that's one big thing, is mental health is a big thing. So say there is something that goes down, and if you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. I know a lot of buddies that have been through some shit, and they talk to me, and that's good. I appreciate it. I need them to talk to me, because that's how you stay healthy mentally. So talk to somebody if you got to, because just because you can't see it don't mean it ain't a wound. I mean, just an emotional or mental wound, and you can apply a tourniquet to that just like you can, metaphorically speaking, to a gunshot wound or whatnot. So
yeah, and I've got a great example for this. So like a few months ago, something happened, and some unfortunate events unfolded to where guns were involved. Luckily, nobody got hurt, and I had to deal with that. And the other people around me were freaking out, like severely freaking out. And I had to be able to keep myself cool to be able to handle the situation, handle everybody as they needed to be handled, to prevent anything to prevent anybody from getting hurt or hurting themselves or hurting other people and hurting themselves. So, and something like that may or may not happen to you. It all depends. Everybody's situation is different, but being emotionally fit enough to be squared away to handle something like that can be a lifesaver, no matter what. So, always something to consider. And I know some people don't have, or I don't want to say aren't capable, but don't know how to work on their emotional fitness to get to that point. And it takes a lot of time. It took me, God, years, like well over 10 years to get to that point. So, yeah,
it doesn't happen.
Important skill to have.
You just got to know how to react to certain situations and handle them as they come, and not freeze. If you're a person that freezes, that it's unfortunate. I've seen that happen, and it sucks. But I mean, you do what you got to do. I know we kind of deviated a bit from preparedness.
I mean, it all ties in together.
Yeah. One thing I did forget to bring up. There was a meme I seen on Facebook the other day, and it said, teacher talking to the kid said, so what is faster than the speed of light? And homie replied, my Silverado, cuz. And that leads me to this. If you're in a natural disaster or a hurricane, tornado, your Silverado, cuz, ain't faster than that bitch. You fucking hunker down, dude. Don't try to outrun it, because first of all, your Silverado is not made to go fast. that's I'm just letting you know. Or most vehicles are not made to go that fast. So if you're trying to outrun something, you're not. What's
it is possible to outrun a tornado, because most of the fast ones that I've seen reported are traveling anywhere between 70 and 80 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah. In a situation like that, everybody's gonna be acting a damn fool on the road. Ain't no way you can maintain a average mile per hour that fast.
And if you get to somewhere like an overpass or something, most people are going to stop right there in the middle of the damn road, get out, and go hunker down. Mm-hmm. Which that's usually not a very good idea. But
yeah, no. Just because your car can, don't mean that you should.
And who knows? You might be in like an old like a very well used vehicle. You start putting the pedal down, and then all of a sudden you start getting knocking, and wheels start falling off, depending on how bad it is.
Yeah, the Toyota, I will not go that fast, and I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm. So, which also part of preparedness, make sure your vehicle is always in at least a better than halfway decent state of repair.
Yeah, and that will fall back onto our last podcast on vehicle maintenance. Make sure that bitch is maintained. But yeah, make sure it's maintained. So if you have to get out of Dodge, you can get somewhere safely. Just because you think you have a big heavy car, don't mean that bitch can't be blown over or picked up and thrown, or something can't fly into it.
Yeah,
so
your pickup truck is not as heavy as you think it is.
Yeah. You think, you see, being a Mitchell or forklift techs, we have very heavy duty jack up forklifts, and these things are mine's rated for 20,000 pounds, because I lift large trucks. And you'd be surprised, or I was surprised myself when I used my jack to lift my car up. It was effortless. Like, usually when you're using a jack, you have to put a little bit of effort behind it. I was like doing this, and it was lifting my BMW up. And first of all, that car's heavy to begin with, or to me, it's heavy. So it was just lifting it as if it was nothing. So yeah, it's not as heavy and dense as you think. And be kind to one another.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Definitely.
be kind to one another, especially in an emergency situation.
I'm not gonna get philosophical here.
Yeah, just be kind to one another. We are all that we have. So um, if you can help a neighbor, help a neighbor, because they can help you later on. We like I live on a compound. Some people would say it's all family out here. We all have one way of contributing to one another. I just so happen to be the gun and security guy, and we got our farmers, our water providers, because we all have our wells tied together out here. Um, so yeah, help one another. Be kind to your neighbor, and they'll be kind to you.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Unless shit hits the fan, then go fucking raid their house. I'm kidding.
But are you?
I mean, I will delve a little bit into that for a second. I was asked when all this COVID shit started, they said, John, we're all buying chickens, we're all getting our garden good. Why ain't you doing anything? You know what my response was? I'm just gonna sit back and watch. They're like, what you mean? I'm just gonna sit back and watch who's hoarding, keeping everything. You know why? I got enough guns and ammo to go take it from them. I ain't gotta worry about it. And I guarantee it, I can outshoot them. So, fuck it. It's a bit apocalyptic, I understand. But hey, if you want to survive that, you gotta be a fucking warlord. And guess what your boy's gonna be? So, I'm just saying. I'll be like the kind of good warlord, you know, like, hey,
The benevolent kind,
yeah, like
if there is such a thing.
instead of the good crack dealer, I'm the good warlord. Like, hey, wanna buy some more?
Jesus Christ, don't be Nicolas Cage in Lord of War.
Oh yeah,
God,
yeah.
I need to see that movie again. That's been so long since I've seen it.
That is a good movie. Actually, I rewatched the Doom the other night.
Oh, with
With Rock.
the Rock.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out in '05. And I just rewatched it only because I kept remembering people saying it was a terrible movie. It wasn't that bad. It was actually a kind of cool movie.
The first person scene in it towards the end,
Yeah,
that actually made me motion sick.
really.
Yeah, you can watch it because like normally when you're playing games, you're in control, so you know what's going to happen. But that is like, oh,
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way when I was watching it. I was like, it was weird because I wasn't controlling it. So I was like, oh man, what the fuck is going on? And then, then I kind of got used to it. By the time I got used to it, it was over.
yeah.
But it was a cool movie. It doesn't really line up with, I mean, granted, I don't know much about the Doom series. I only have played the first one like briefly, and then the 2020 version, which is phenomenal game, I will say. I love it. The soundtrack is even better.
Future vision.
Yeah, check out the Doom soundtrack. Sick.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Speaking of video games, I'll tell you one that I've been really enjoying lately, and it's stupid simple. Is a Snow Runner,
Oh, okay.
which for those who don't know, there was a game that came out a couple years ago called Spin Tires, and it was basically created by these Russians, and it's essentially a Russian logging simulator. So you're in these off-road trucks in like these most remote places, and you're having to fight through the terrain to deliver logs from point A to point B. And then they came out with another one called Mud Runner. Essentially the same thing, just a little bit different, a little bit more updated. And then they finally come out with Snow Runner, um, which actually has a story to it slightly and progression. And so you got three different areas. Like you start off in a part of Michigan, and then you go to Alaska, and then finally to Russia. And so in Michigan, you're doing oil rig construction. Then in Alaska, you're doing oil pipelines, and I haven't made it to Russia yet. I mean, you can go to all three areas from the get-go, but I've been kind of working through each place, and I've been really enjoying it because it's not like you start off with a pickup truck, and then you get like a flatbed, and then you get like your Class A trucks, and then you start getting some of your heavier duty trucks, like you get big old Caterpillars and stuff. And it's fun. I mean, it sounds dumb because most everybody's like all into like COD and stuff like that, and FPS games and stuff. But this is like a completely different take, and it's just so much fun just sitting there driving through and getting your truck bogged down, then having to go get a crane to come back, get it out, and then it's just been something I've been enjoying.
Yeah, I know. We did mention earlier that we had a little get together the other night, and we had a nice little Among Us session.
Yeah.
While all the girls were getting shitty, we all the fellas whipped out our phones, and it was like 5 of us playing Among Us, and it was pretty good time actually. And 9 times out of 10, at least one of us in the group was the imposter, and it was absolutely hilarious. I was the imposter multiple times. It was great. And it was the first time I'd ever been the imposter. So
it's really fun when you have a full 10-player lobby that's all people that you're in a group with.
Oh man!
And then taking bets on who's the imposter and trying to figure it out. And then usually we found out you can usually tell who's the imposter by how quickly bodies start stacking. And then you start learning how they play as the imposter, and you can usually figure it out by the time they kill the first person.
Yeah, I know. Our first couple matches, I was the imposter like every time, and it was great because like thankfully we all had some sort of integrity, so we wouldn't like blurt it out, and we would just like when you would die, you just like you just have an eye contact, like I knew you did it.
I'm not gonna do nothing.
Yeah. So like when I killed Mitchell, the homies over there just me mugging the fuck out of me. I'm like, don't you say it. But yeah, it's a fun little game. Like it's I mean, some people might say it's childish, but I think it's fun. It's it's a good time.
Oh yeah. Simple games tend to be the funnest.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's 100% true. PlayStation 5 news. They said that they're not going to have in-store sales on launch day.
Really?
Yep. Sony confirmed it. They told outlets, look, don't sell it on launch day. They can have it pre-ordered or they can buy it after, but none on launch day.
Oh, I bet because they don't want people rushing to stores and then fucking hauling them out without paying for them.
So, yeah, there's that. And we all know that there's fucking bots out there buying them up the second they're available. So, it sucks. I was looking at getting one and I was going to review it for you guys, but I couldn't get a hold of one. I unfortunately relied on and hoped that Sony would stick to their word when they said that loyal PlayStation owners would get priority of pre-orders. So when they sent that email out and I signed up for it, I was thinking I was going to get an email so I could pre-order one, so I never worried about it. And then next thing I know, a week later, the news breaks that these things are sold out immediately because a few retailers dropped them early. So sucks, but it is what it is. And
well, dealing with anything Sony's kind of a bitch anyways.
yeah, I mean, I'll wait. I'll just wait till they come in stock and store, Or actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna wait until they come out, and for all those assholes that bought more than one pre-order, I'm gonna wait till they try to sell them, and I'm gonna lowball the fuck out of them.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep hitting them on the lowball. I mean, that's what you do. That's what I'm waiting for with current events to finish. Everybody's $1,500 ARs. I'm gonna buy them for $400 about a year or two. So I'm just waiting that and their ammo. So
Now I'm just saying now, when I ever decide to sell mine, I ain't selling it for $400. You, the lowest I'll probably take for it's 25.
yeah, I was thinking with that one. I was thinking about trying to sell it the other day because I found something that I liked, and I talked myself out of it. But I was like, I'll probably sell it for 15.
At least keep it till you can replace it.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. Like,
Or at least till they're done with the reviews.
Yeah, I was like, I need to finish reviewing it first. So, because I forgot what it was I was looking at, but I really wanted it. But I might have a, what's it called? A Smith & Wesson 500 come in.
Ooh.
Yeah, that with, I think 5 boxes of ammo.
Customer?
So, yeah, consignment.
Okay.
So I was like, a Smith & Wesson 500, huh? I need a cool wheel gun. I was like, what you want for it? And they told me what they were asking. I was like, oof. I was like, no, I'm not buying it. I mean, I'll sell it for you for that much, but I ain't buying it.
I say don't take it like he's asking too much for the gun. John's just cheap.
yeah, I'm cheap. There's a reason why most of that's PSA.
Well, that's why he's got the budget build.
Yeah, that's why I stick to budget builds. Granted, that is a complete arrow build, which is what you're supposed to do. But it is what it is. Matter of fact, get Mitchell, you talk for a second, and then I'll show you a cheat. You just keep talking there for a second.
So, so if you ain't figured out yet, John is definitely the budget guy. He don't like to pay nothing for nothing. But I'll go out, I'll buy once, try once, because I'd rather have something that works 100% of the time than something that may work 75% of the time.
Now, yes, I do have my times where I will spend the money. But being that I'm married, I can't do that as often as I would like. So at least I'm not working with something. I'm trying to make it work and put it in the picture. Like this. This is as bare bones as you can get.
Who makes it?
PSA. Nah, I mean, I can't complain with PSA. Like I said, they make okay stuff. I've only had one complaint with them, and it happened recently. But so far, I mean, I would never pay what the customer paid for this. But I mean, they really wanted it, and I told them, I'm like, look, right now it's not the best time to be buying it, but if you really want it, I can get it. So yeah, they paid about almost double what I would pay for it.
Oh, that reminds me. So I was at one of the local gun shops recently, and he had a gun come in, and it had the invoice in it. He goes, well, I was expecting this, so I hope he didn't get raped. And he pulled the invoice out before he pulled the gun out, and he just dropped and went, holy fuck. And I was like, well, what? Well, let's see what it is before he tells us the price. So he pulled it out. It's not an IO AK, but it might as well be.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought 60 rounds of ammo of Wolf 7.62 by 39. He bought the Wolf at $15 a box. And the gun was almost $900.
Bruh.
It didn't come with the mag. He had to buy the mag separately.
No.
Yep, totaled out to about $1,100 with tax.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Dude. I mean, they didn't get hit that bad with this thing. Jesus Christ.
for those of y'all who are wondering, well, why is what's wrong with an IO AK? They have a tendency to shear off bolt lugs because they don't make them right.
And they like to blow up. And don't get me wrong, guys, this is a decent rifle. I mean, if this is like a first AR and it's gonna be nothing but a fucking closet queen, and you're gonna take it out and shoot it once and then throw it back in your closet, this would be fine. I wouldn't go out and fight any wars with this thing, but it'll get the job done if you want an AR. And I mean, I make a bunch of these for customers because they're price efficient and they kind of fit what the customer wants. For people that's not really that into guns, they love the classic stock, the plastic hand grip, the front sight post, or FSP. That's just their thing. So not really my thing anymore. Granted, I do want a front sight block gun for whatever reason. I don't know why I do, but I want one as a battle rifle because I've seen people split wigs with these things before. So yeah.
Although I do remember seeing a video, I forget where it was from. Oh, I know it came out of Afghanistan. A dude come around the corner, went to pull the trigger, the gun went click, so he turned around, grabbed it by the barrel, and swung and broke the dude's jaw with the buttstock and bent the buffer tube.
I believe it.
So,
Yeah, I've seen guys run and just fall on the rifle, and I've seen it bend a little. You know, I've seen uh, all sorts of craziness. There's that picture floating around of where Private forgot his rifle in the ramp of a armored vehicle, and it got crushed, or not crushed, but it went from being in a straight line to in that shape. So he was able to shoot around corners with it.
well, that brings up another point. I'm excited once KE Arms finishes their KP15 lowers, which are all polymer.
Oh yeah.
Because for something like heavy use, where normally you would, like if it's got a lot of weight, like for example, there was a match, I forget who hosted it, but they were carrying the rifles back from one stage, and the back of a pickup truck, there's a bunch of rifles thrown back there.
Mm-hmm.
And the buffer tube ended up bending on a couple of them from the ride. Yeah. So
Competition rifle.
Yeah, but one of the guns was in one of the old school Cav Arms polymer lowers, and nothing wrong with it. That was just fine. So something like that would be a very good use for a polymer lower. But granted, those lowers, they're not like your traditional polymer lowers, which are in the standard shape and you put your buffer tube extension in. They actually have like an A1 style stock molded onto it. It's all one piece, and it's designed from the ground up as a polymer lower, and they work great for that kind of purpose.
I'm curious. I'm gonna keep talking to you guys, but I just looked at this and I'm wondering if this is a low shelf lower. I don't think it is, but there's only one way you can find out. And that,
No, don't get any ideas yet.
well, I can't exactly manufacture it just yet, but I have the forbidden. But yeah, luckily I have licensing to do this, guys, so don't do this at home.
One day we'll have one.
Yeah. Okay.
We got another gun to convert first.
Yeah, so no, this is not a low shelf. No, it needs to be milled out more.
Because they have to do it to when you go to actually design something and manufacture it, especially a low receiver for AR, you have to manufacture it, then ship it to the ATF to get clarification whether it's a machine gun or not. And so, like, you'll see different variations. There's a standard one that's been kind of standardized upon now, but like a low shelf lower, if it's got the pocket milled out completely to fit a sear, but it doesn't have the third pinhole, ATF I think will generally classify it as a machine gun. So
Well, there's a few that you can buy with a low shelf, and it's legal because the third hole's not drilled. But the second you think about it, it's illegal. So don't just think you can just buy that low shelf and think you're gonna get away with it. Don't do it, guys. If you have the fancy, go rent a machine gun, or if you think you can make a business out of it, you can start a business and get your SOT like I do. But you can't do it for personal gain. That's very illegal. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm just going to get my SOT and I'll have all the machine guns. It don't work like that. You got to be a legitimate business to do that. That's how I'm able to build suppressors, because I'm a legitimate business and I legitimately do build these to sell these. I haven't marketed that one yet because I'm still working on it. So there's that. But yeah, cool stuff. Cigar etiquette, drinking responsibly,
being prepared for shit.
yeah, prepared. Mitchell's phone vibrating, baby John throwing a fit and spilling water all over my carpet and desk, and screaming in the background, and Mitchell's phone vibrating again.
Yep.
And
no, dogs would come out.
And my cheap guns. So I think we about covered it, guys.
Yeah, I think we about got it. I think she's tired of it already.
Yeah, poor girl.
So, anyways, I'm gonna sign off so we can. So I can let these guys out and we can get this uploaded for y'all. So I'll see y'all next time.
Yep. Please like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate you guys watching. I understand this is not the greatest episode in the world. We're gonna get better, we promise. So appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Love you guys.